So with an IEP, there has to be measurable goals. Good morning, everyone. It's the loudest plane ever just went overhead. I am walking back home from school. Just finished setting up that chocolate buffet. The whole room smells like sugar. They really take what you want. You can sample whatever. The lady from the PTA brought her 6th grade daughter and a friend as helpers because the middle school has about an hour of time in between like elementary and middle school start. So they were sampling all the broken stuff, their payments, very cute. But went well, and I got out of there at like 8:17, I'd say. I was supposed to go till 8:30 if needed. So I am trucking it up these long hills. Lots of trips to and from the school this week. So I think that's my last time walking there. I'm at the middle school tomorrow. But I'm gonna get home in time to drive Jax. So I'm gonna do that. And then probably my errands. I just ate 2 little mini dark chocolate peanut butter cups. Everything smelled good, but also at the same time I was like, it's too early for this. But I had to try them. Anyway, I'll see you later. I am so lucky that I got to leave early because it started raining. I don't know if you can see that. It started raining right when I would have been walking home. Basically right when I got into the car to take Jax. So Jax and I would both have gotten rained on. So glad that we were able to set that up fast. I just made it over to a Lidl. I'm gonna go to Starbucks first. I did grab just some random yarns. I don't have anything that I have underway really. That Franken shirt, no, that's a no. It's not gonna happen in that kind of yarn. I do love the sleeves, so I'm gonna choose some yarn that's nice and soft and make a shirt with granny sleeves. Maybe even knit the body because I didn't really love the fabric. And sorry, Danny just messaged me, so it distracted me. Yeah, I'm gonna take that apart. And the granny squares that I made, I'm gonna make into a bag, so I just have to make a few more of those. And I did already start using the yarn to make those crochet succulents. Anyway, I'm gonna go to Starbucks and then I'm gonna go to Lidl, and I might need to run across to Harris Teeter for dryer sheets if they don't have our brand. But yeah, I'll see you later. Hello everyone. It is a little after 3. I've gotten Sebastian from the bus, done a phonics lesson with him from his homework, and got got his bike out so he could go play. But right when we were doing homework, I got an email from his new case manager with the draft of his IEP plan. So let's see. There's so much. I was like, oh, I'll just print this out and have a copy. It's 25 pages, so never mind. No, Danny's home from the dentist. So obviously we've already been approved. We're keeping all the same speech stuff, speech twice a week. His recent scores on all the different evaluative testing they do have been coming in really well. So everything they've been doing so far has definitely helped. I mean, he did have to take 5 sessions on a reading test that normally takes 40 to 55 minutes, but it went well. You know, I'm gonna pause because Danny's coming in and I'm probably gonna chat with him and then I'll come back with you. Okay, so with an IEP, there has to be measurable goals, which is fairly straightforward when it comes to the speech side of things. He just needs to be able to say the certain sounds a certain amount of times. So we're keeping all of those. I can read one of these random ones. This one he very much needs still. Given structured opportunities, Sebastian will produce R and vocalic R across all positions of 2 to 3 word phrases with 80% accuracy across 5 trials demonstrated over 4 consecutive sessions. I'm running out of air by 1 year from now. So there's I think 3 goals for speech like that. For his ADHD and attentive, right now what they're doing is keeping him academically. It's catching him up, even surpassing it at spots. So we don't need to do anything educationally, goal-wise, but behaviorally. So he's got 2 behavior goals here. And when I was doing research, these are goals that I saw as typical examples. So given an academic task, Sebastian will begin the task within 2 minutes and remain on task for a minimum of 10 minutes with no more than 2 teacher prompts on 80% of the trials measured in 1 year. So yeah, starting a task in 2 minutes, good luck with that. We're a long way from that. And then the other one is given the tools to support sustained attention during instructional times. Sebastian will remain on task, defined as actively working on the assigned task, body and eyes oriented towards instruction, responding to directions given during a 10-minute time sample with at least 80% of 1-minute intervals measured on at least 4 out of 5 trials by 1 year. These are run-on sentences. So similar. This one, the last one, it's starting and staying on task. This one is 10-minute sample, 4 out of 5. Honestly, I'm a little vague on, I'm not super clear on the difference between those 2. If you have any thoughts, let me know. But obviously in 1 week, I'm going to be chatting with everybody so they can clarify. Both of these will be measured by teacher data reports, whoever his teacher is next year. I don't know how much his current teacher will get to do. We have a month left of school. Alright, so then we're at the 3 speech goals, and those are measurable goals. This is the big one, accommodations. So he will now have audio tests, but it can only be in the non-reading ones. In 3rd grade, his standards of learning tests will just be reading and math, so he'll get accommodations. The audio test for the math, they can't do a read aloud test on a reading test. And I feel like he needs lots and lots of time, but I don't think they're timed, so I think that's not why it's built in as an accommodation. So there's no accommodations on the reading test, but audio tests for all non-reading state and district tests. They built in something this time for his speech when it comes to testing, because we decided it is affecting it. So he gets additional time for oral reading assessments to account for speech and articulation needs. So he gets 50% extra time. Let's see. Another accommodation. Check for understanding after directions are given to ensure student understands expectation. Repeat directions individually as needed. So this has been happening. It will be officially required. Explicitly breaking the test down into smaller steps. This has happened sometimes. Well, maybe, and only the teacher knows how much this has to happen, but this will be official. This is why I wanted this. I want all the things that are working right now to be official. And then this is something I put into my notes, which they did get my notes. There's a whole section where they broke down a summary of my notes. Movement breaks to support refocusing attention. When the student is observed to be off task multiple times during a work period, students should be offered a movement break. I suggest just getting up, doing a small task, running an errand, that kind of thing. It can really help to center him again. Provide checklists for lengthy routines during the school day. Provide graphic organizers, such as Foursquare, sentence starters, sequencing organizer, index cards. That's the kind of thing for writing assignments. Very needed, very needed. Preferential seating, he has had that since first grade. It became very clear right away that he needed that, and he has always had it. But that will be set in stone. Providing incentives for completing a task. So I have always said that's really the only thing. Rewards are the only thing that works. He would get tickets in first grade that he could turn in for prizes. At home, we do weekly prizes now, so I don't know what the school will decide on. This is a new one for me, setting a timer. Timer should be set for Sebastian to know how much time he has to complete his work. So this is not, I'm timing you to see how long it takes you, but countdown timer, this is how much time you have left. I use timers a lot when I really just absolutely can't get him to do his work. I'll say, I bet you could do this in 1 minute. I bet you could write this sentence in 1 minute, and I'll start the timer and he will take the challenge. So that's a good one. It says, the only thing required to accomplish all these is timers, checklists, graphic organizers. No special training for teachers. So when it comes to assessments, he will be taking the normal assessments. There is an option that you could try for a alternate assessment, which is certainly needed for certain disabilities, but they believe he will be just fine, and I believe it too. The testing has been coming back good with the oral math test and giving lots of time for reading. Let's see, so it says next year, this will be his first year with standards of learning tests to pass the grade. Reading, he will be participating with no accommodations, as I said. Math, he will be participating with the audio test. And then there's just various assessments, same as we do right now. And again, he'll get the audio test for math. And yes, the reading ones are all going to be standard. He does not need any extra nursing care. He doesn't need to be in a special education room. He will be in general education except for special things. So special instruction time will be continuing twice weekly speech therapy. And they always put in this 2 times a year like evaluation thing that's just like 10 minutes. And then they put in behavior support 120 minutes per day. So I'm guessing that's the extra time the teacher will need to break down all those steps and stuff. So maybe they have his aide in there. I don't know. I'll clarify that. And then social skills instructions. This is what I was hoping to get, these executive functioning skills, how to stay on task, how to recognize when you're getting distracted and advocate for yourself, all this stuff. 20 minutes once a week, and he will be pulled out for that. And I think everything else is pretty clear. Let me go up to their summary of what, there's all these summaries of everything we've done, all the different evaluations. Here is the summary of my paper. So the special education dean provided the IEP team with parent input that was shared during the eligibility team meeting. I wanted to give it to them then so that they would have it for making this plan. His parents expressed concern with his difficulties with time management, task initiation, frustration management, and managing distractions. They expressed the want for additional interventions to address these needs, such as breaking assignments into segments, teaching executive functioning and emotional regulation skills, promoting self-advocacy, providing writing support, and implementing methods to limit distractions. Sebastian's struggles with homework fatigue and slow writing skills were also noted. So I took my long notes and got it down to that, but that is the gist of it. Oh my gosh, I've got so much stuff going everywhere. My little IEP folder. We'll be starting a new tab. This is the one, was it January? Yeah. Nope, this is the old one. That's my first one. So when was this one? This one was... Oh, here's mine. Yeah, I have a lot of notes. Yeah, biggest challenges: time management, speed of work completion, starting tasks and planning the steps that need to be taken without getting overwhelmed, shutting down due to frustration, managing distractions and lack of focus, and reading and writing skills. Those is where I saw his biggest challenges were, not necessarily educational goals, though reading and writing skills is, I will say, is where he's lacking, writing especially. So our hopes from the IEP: continue speech, continue the accommodations that have been working, such as daily report cards, small group learning, preferential seating, and then add new goals and interventions to improve his learning efficiency and reduce distractions and frustrations. So my suggestions after researching were: increase the amount of time Sebastian can stay on task without becoming distracted or disengaged, reduce the need for reminders and prompting, improve his ability to filter out distractions and recognize when something is distracting him, and improve time management and organizational skills going into the higher grades. So they did take those staying on task goals. They were written just as the ones I'd seen online, so it's pretty standard, I think. And then I said possibly adding goals for specific academic challenges, reading and writing, but there's nothing written in there. That's fine. I didn't think that's necessarily new. So then I had a section: what new interventions might help, and my suggestions. Assignments broken into segments with breaks in between, and I just gave like some examples: lines drawn on the math sheet to break it up into sections, like 6 problems, and then movement breaks for stretching and breathing in between. Teaching him executive functioning skills, organization, planning, time management, self-monitoring. Teaching him emotional regulation skills, like calming his frustration, improving focus. Create a way for him to self-advocate when he's feeling overwhelmed or too distracted. I think he just doesn't say anything when people are just talking and he can't focus. Extra writing help to improve speed and reduce his feelings of frustration. Nothing's written there. I don't know, that he's definitely super frustrated with his writing. Implement methods to limit distractions, so finishing test classwork in a quiet place if needed. Reward finished work with movement breaks, desirable chores, errands. So those are things that I had suggested. And then at the end, I just had a few notes. Things about like homework is super difficult. He hyperfixates on how long he thinks things will take, and it makes him lose focus and it ends up taking longer. He does better with timed assignments, to do this task for 20 minutes versus do these 20 math problems until you're finished. So there was a timer mentioned. And I said his writing skills are very, very slow, especially at homework time. So often homework will go more smoothly if I am able to write it down and he dictates. So that is where we are, and I will be at that meeting in 1 week. Don't get to have lunch with Sebastian this time because the meeting is during his lunch, which makes sense because the teacher will not need a sub to come in if she goes during their lunch. But I've talked forever and my phone is going to hate having this file on there, but I think this video is pretty much going to be this IEP update. So thank you for sticking with me to the end. You are a true one. Alright everyone, we're just gonna say goodnight real quick. There's my little neon haired cutie. That green hair dye apparently fades out to neon highlighter. But we should probably refresh it this weekend, right? Then you can go through the whole spectrum of greens again. Definitely needs to be washed, it's crusty.
I like it crusty. I like my hair crusty.
Anyway, good night everyone. Stay safe, be kind, and don't forget,
Wash your hands.